What's up, guys? Studfit here. We have another episode of The Rundown, and welcome back, Antilev. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy to be back. Happy to be back on The Rundown. I was sad to miss the last tour, but vacations are important too.
Yeah, shout out to Larry98 who helped us with the last episode. He did a phenomenal job stepping in for the legendary GOAT. But you're back. We're happy to have you. I know you kind of took a break from the spreadsheets and doing some of that data guruing, but you didn't take a break necessarily from the game, at least when it came to not taking a break from your free-to-play account. Tell us a little bit about a little accomplishment you made there.
Yes, I decided to go for ACR on my free-to-play account. My free-to-play account is, I started it in a Ninja Tour last year, so in April. I initially set myself a deadline when I started it that I wanted to get an ACR Top 1000 badge within 1 year. When the level 8 update came out, I extended that to 18 months just because of general score inflation. So the deadline was getting close, and last tour I looked at my inventory, had a high level Meowser, high-level Kamek, high-level Gold Yoshi, and I thought that it lined up pretty okay, so I'm going to go for it. Also, I really love Bowser's Castle, in general, so those are always like a pleasure to grind, especially, even the new ones. So I decided to go for it, I didn't have the full 2 weeks to grind for it. I only started really writing down scores like on, I think, day 6, the Monday after I came back, and then the last 3 days of the tour I also was a bit busy with real life stuff. So I think in total I had about 6 or 7 days to grind, maybe 4 to 6 hours per day with like work and everything else. But in the end I finished 354th, so top 1000, top 500 even.
Wow.
And I managed to get a little bit over 95% on my ACR sheet,
Wow.
95% of estimated scores. So I was really happy with that. I'd like to try it again sometime and take the full 2 weeks and really go for it. But that's maybe, in another year or something, I'll be able to save 1 million tickets and go for top 100. Who knows? We'll see.
1 million tickets. Yeah, 1 million tickets with a free-to-play account is going to take a long time. But congratulations, great job. 95% is ridiculous. In fact, this was actually one of the busier tours when it came to All Cup rank. A lot of people wanted.
It was really tough. Yeah, it was a really tough ACR.
Special shout out to Frenzy Fans guy who was able to, I think, finish 21st in his All Cup ranking, was able to surpass 2 million. It was really competitive, but he's obviously one of our favorite Super Stud members, and really we're rooting him on the whole way. So it's nice to see him get over 2 million, get in the top 25, which is an accomplishment we track, at least in ER and other servers. It's a big accomplishment. So shout out to Frenzy Fans guy, great job, and congratulations to everyone who grinded this tour because it was intense. It was very competitive across the board, top 10, top 100, top 1000. So great job to those who went for it. Special shout out to our members. As you know, this channel probably wouldn't exist if it wasn't for these members. They keep the party going on. You do notice here we've added a few different mods. So special shout out to Draco655, Luca, and Matt Aldridge, who are helping us out, helping out Eat Deedle and Puffton, Larry98, and Hero the Sky. So special shout out to all those mods. They help us support the variety of things going on that need modding, because I try to get, I have a pretty busy life in general. So having that support there is phenomenal. In fact, I just got back from Washington, D.C., where I was there since Wednesday, about 2 hours after doing the tour reveal. So I've been trying to play catch up on the way back, on the driveway back to Virginia. So it wasn't, about a 2 hour drive, but I've been trying to research and kind of do as much as I possibly could while in the car. Just I guess don't tell anybody that's in law enforcement. But I was I'm pretty caught up. I'm pretty excited and jazzed about this tour in general. So let's get into the week 1 pipe. You saw my reaction on Wednesday. You saw the boomerang, and it does look like the trend of Coinbox boomerang, that's going to keep going, or at least that did keep going in this tour. We'll see what happens in future tours, especially now that we won't have like actual pipes to pull with rubies. So I don't know if this will be a trend that keeps continuing, but man, it's honestly really hard to imagine Nintendo giving us drivers without top skills anymore. Like, it just seems that they just keep giving top skills, and like that's all that they want to give us, unless it's a me, with the exception of I think it was that Daisy tour where they gave us 2 drivers and they were both kind of garbagey. So it is what it is, but we have to adapt to this game. This game is top skills. We've been bombarded with the boomerang. I think we're over boomeranged, that is for sure. We're relieved and excited when we see Giant Banana, which it is Year of the Giant Banana. So we'll see what happens, what new skill will be coming out. But I do think this is one last hurrah from Nintendo to give us one last opportunity to pull a week 1 pipe to try to get that top skill. We'll see what happens in this next generation, this year, the 3rd anniversary and on. But we had some interesting items here. I thought just in general, the brand new cart that goes with Knight Luigi certainly looked cool. We found out from the hitbox perspective, though, not that large. But and so I'm not sure if you have that date in front of you from Rashid, but we'd love to review that.
He hasn't updated yet. I've heard something from him that because of that lance that's sticking off to the side, it actually makes it relatively big hitbox wise. It has a weird and off-center hitbox because of it, but it is like it's not going to be obviously in the top tier of carts. And you know, I don't have it. I didn't pull it. So I don't know personally, but this is just what I've heard from him and from others, that it is going to be like a sort of extra large or bigger cart. But mainly because of that. So it might also be weird to drive. I don't know.
You know, I love the look. I love the asymmetrical, have the joust kind of hanging out. I think it's cool. But as for calculating a hitbox, it's not ideal. It's obviously, you know, we try to think about things in boxes, and this is not a box. This is not a box-styled cart. So yeah, a little bit of some unique ways that we can approach it, but overall, it's not as big as you might have thought it would have been. You know, compared to, you know, when we saw it, my initial thought was, this is like a vampire flyer. Like, this is like going to be huge, and it's just not. Yeah,
it does look big. Yeah.
It's just not that big. Still above average. You know, it's still going to be bigger than the Silver Kings and Top Rods, etc. But not bigger than the Off-Roader, and not that massive hitbox. So obviously we got in this pipe 2 boomerang drivers and 1 new glider, but some pretty good items when you think about that Warrior Wagon. And this origami glider, it's suspect, not necessarily amazing, but overall it's above average. So, Ansel, tell me about this week 1 pipe. Did you pull it in either of your accounts?
Yeah, my free-to-play account, I used up basically all my rubies, or most of my rubies last tour to clear the 100 pipe for the new items. So I'm just kind of in saving mode. I might have a look at one of the special pipes later. We'll get to that later. On my main account, I did 2 YOLO 10 pulls. First one, I got a green pipe, nothing. Second one, I got both drivers. So I didn't own Mario Samurai. Yeah. So that's why I haven't gone. I'm basically like, I won. I'm done with this pipe. So I got the Luigi Knight and a Mario Samurai who I didn't have before. So I'm basically like, yeah, well, I'm not going to tempt fate and continue on here. I think I've done well.
You know, it's ironic that you mentioned that, because that literally happened to my main account as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I got. I had a green pipe that I pulled live on my reaction, and then I did a crapper 10 pull. And I mean, it might be hard to see here just because of the light. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see that. But yeah, I actually got 3 drivers. I posted in the server, but I got the 2 spotlight drivers and then a black Birdo. So
oh, wow.
On the second 10 pull. That's so weird that we both had that experience. But very strange there. Yeah, so I pulled into it. Again, I wasn't sure what would come from it, but I needed coins, and I'm trying not to spend a lot in the game, so it was either that or trying to go into the special pipe, which we'll talk about here in a second. But overall, I think this is a pipe, worth pulling if you want to get coins. But if you need to save for the anniversary, go ahead and do that if need be. But let's talk about these brand new items. We obviously have this Luigi Knight, and then 2 new Mii suits, which took my first skim off the top rubies. That was a priority for me. And then we have these 2 carts, and then we have 4 new gliders, thanks to these commemorative items. But tell us a little bit about the starting coverage, which, again, I personally don't put too much emphasis on. The starting coverage is somewhere in the 20 to 25% of what its end coverage will be, so I don't get too hyped out about it. But this is the only thing we know for certain, so it's good to know where we start.
So one thing before we get into this, one thing I want to say about like this tour and also the previous tour, these are both really good tours to get your debut. And we're talking about the initial set of like 8 to 10 tracks, what an item is going to get, and you have a selection of the track. There are really good tracks in this tour's like ACR selection. You basically have only 2 older tracks. You've got DK Summit and DK Pass, and those are not necessarily like bad. Like everybody loves DK Pass, right? Like we're waiting for it to come back. We're happy, you know, that it comes back. And DK Summit also like a really cool Wii track. It's like one of my favorites. It's my favorite Wii track, you know. And then everything else is like a 2022 track. Even the RTs that are in this tour, Maple Treeway, Wario Shipyard, Bowser's Castle, all newer ones, you know. So those are, I mean, even for RTs, they're not bad buffs to get. So, you know, I went through the coverage on all the items, and none of them has like a really, what you would say, a bad start where there's stuff with like a lot of older tracks or a lot of like RTs or whatever. There are some that are like stronger than others, but for the most part, I think a lot of these items have a chance to kind of have, at least they all have like a pretty strong start, relatively speaking. So getting into the specific items, like let's first look at Luigi. He's Boomerang Driver. This is kind of what Nintendo has been doing this pattern this year, where they release a giant banana driver, then a coin box in the next tour, then a boomerang immediately after that. I think this is the 3rd time they followed that sequence. A lot of people were predicting Boomerang for Luigi Night, and that's what he got in the end. So not really surprised. He's starting with 9 tracks at level 8. He has, I think 7 of these 9 tracks are coin box tracks. He doesn't have any of the new Ghost Valleys, which is a bit of a pity because the new Ghost Valley 2s are kind of tailor-made for Boomerang. They're short, and you want to try to, there's a lot of coins on the track. He's got Bowser's Castle 3, which is decent for Boomerang, but it's probably better for Coinbox. Bowser's Castle RT, which is a bit the same story. He's got all 3 Luigi Raceways, which is it's a fine Boombox track. He's got Maple Treeway RT, 2 of the RMX Bowser's Castle. He's got RNT there, Mushroom Gorge R, and Daisy Cruiser T. So like really all high quality tracks. He has a nice start. The only thing that's a little worrying is he's got a lot of like coin box overlap, but I mean he looks, you know, kind of promising. He has 3 overlaps with Yoshi Gold Egg, 3 overlaps with Mario Samurai, 3 overlaps with Gold Charging Chuck, or Chuck Box, what we've been calling him, and also 3 overlaps with Dr. Bowser. Moving on to the new Mii racing suits, we're not going to spend a lot of time on them, of course. The Goomba Mii racing suit with the you have it listed. Okay, the Hammer Brothers racing suit with the Hammer skill, 7 starting tracks. Actually, a surprising number of overlaps. There's 4 drivers. He has 3 overlaps with PD Piranha, Mario Samurai, Charging Chuck Gold, and Dry Bowser Mii racing suit. 3 plus co-drivers and 1 other, and then other ones he has 2 overlaps with is Pink Shy Guy Ninja, White Snooki Mario, Peach Happy, Luigi Knight as far as the plus skill driver. So a lot of whirring overlap on the Hammer Brothers Hammer Bro Mii racing suit. With the Goomba Mii racing suit, less overlap, but he only starts with 6 tracks. Overlaps 3 times with Gold Chuck, 2 times with PD Piranha, 2 times with Luigi Knight, and finally 2 times with Blockhead, the Question Block Mii racing suit. Moving over to the Karts, the Shielded Speedster, which is, a lot of people thought it was going to be called the Knight Rider, but I guess that was probably copyrighted or something. Strange name, cool looking car, actually starting with 10 tracks, so the most of any new item this tour, and not too much overlap. It's got 3 overlaps with Watermelon Kart, Red Off-Roader, Piranha Pipes, Green Yellow Capsule Kart, and Coral Jet Cruiser, so those are some pretty decent carts and newer carts as well, but still, like, the selection of tracks that it starts with is pretty nice. It's got 1 DK Pass and 1 DK Summit, and everything else is pretty new. No RTs. It started with no RTs, so I would say out of the starting quality, that might be one of the best ones. And then we got the ranked reward, the gold standard. This is the one, I guess, which is it the cart that Mario uses in Coin Rush?
Yep.
So that's pretty interesting. And, you know, we usually kind of think, oh, these ranked reward cards are pretty crap. But actually, if you look at the starting tracks, it looks pretty quality. It's got Maple Treeway RT, so only 1 RT. It doesn't have any DK Pass or DK Summit, so no older tracks. It's starting with all like newer tracks. It's got 2 of the Luigi Raceways. It's got 1 of the Ghost Valleys, 2 Mushroom Gorges, 2 RMX Bowser's Castle, and finally Daisy Cruiser T at level 8. So actually, actually a very strong start. I don't know how it's going to develop, of course, because these tend to be kind of disappointing, these ranked reward cards. But the start is very strong. Overlap. It has 4 overlaps with the Warrior Wagon, 3 with the Watermelon Cart, 3 with Goo Black, 3 with Blue-Green Capsule Cart, and 3 with the Armored Rider. Moving into the gliders.
Hey, before we move into gliders, what's your thought on the gold standard? Is this the tea leaves that will get this gold Mario with this vacuum skill? I think that's the across the community, that's been the assumption for what it's worth.
I don't know. I know I've heard that also as well a lot. Maybe I could see they want to do something massive for anniversary or something massive with the new update, and introducing a new skill with a driver that we've kind of been able to drive with but not really use normally in the game. Might be that, but I don't know. I have no idea what it's gonna mean. I'm just seeing another crappy gold card, but who knows?
All right, continue.
Yes. Okay. So moving into the gliders, we've got the Silver Luigi's Mustache, the Spotlight Cart in week 1, starting with 9 tracks. Maybe one of the relatively weakest starts. It's got 2 older tracks, a DK Pass and a DK Summit and a Wario Shipyard RT. Other than that, it's got all 3 Luigi Raceways at level 1 as well, and it's got 2 RMX Bowser's Castles and a Daisy Cruiser T. Overlap wise, 4 times with Wonderful Wings, 4 times with Ship's Wheel, 3 times with Wicked Topaz, and 3 times with Luigi's Hat Balloon. So not a lot of overlap, but the items it does overlap with are pretty good. Luigi's Hat Balloon, or let's look at Mario's Hat Balloon actually. Starting with 9 tracks, very good start, no older tracks, all newer 2022 tracks, only 1 RT, Bowser's Castle RT. It's got 2 Piranha Plant Slides, 2 Mushroom Gorges, 2 Daisy Cruisers, a Ghost Valley 2, and a Bowser's Castle 3 on top of that Bowser's Castle RT. It does have a significant amount of overlap. It overlaps with 3 other gliders 4 times, Wonderful Wings, Origami Glider, and a new Boo Mask, and it overlaps with, I think, 12 other gliders 3 times. I'm not going to go through them all, but some of the notable ones are 8-Bit 1-Up Mushroom, Golden Wings, Piranha Plant Balloons, Mint and Berry Balloons, and the Sakura Origami Glider. So there's some very quality gliders in that list of the overlap. So the start is good and the quality of the tracks is good, but check your coverage carefully to see if it gives you anything new, because it overlaps with some very, very good gliders. We got the Luigi Hat Balloon, which is a bit the opposite story. Starting with 8 tracks, and maybe not the strongest start because it's got 2 DK passes involved, but almost no overlap. It only overlaps with 1 other glider 3 times, and that is the Silver Luigi's Mustache. So no real big overlap with any meta gliders. And finally we have the Boom Mask. This is Spotlight in the week 2 pipe. Looks really cool. I like the design a lot, and has a very strong start as well. No older tracks, 2 RTs. It does have 2 RTs, Maple Treeway and Bowser's Castle. Other than that, it's got 2 Ghost Valleys, it's got Bowser's Castle 3R, it's got a Mushroom Gorge, Luigi Raceway, Daisy Cruiser, RMX Bowser's Castle. It's not one of these gliders where it's got a set of all 3 of this or all 3 of that. It's kind of got 1 of each. So if you're a type of person who has I like to have an item which has all 3 variants of a track, it's maybe not for you, but who knows, maybe it fits into your coverage. It has a very strong start, and for me it looks like probably going forward the strongest start of any of the gliders.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point. I know the some of the GSG are big fans of the Boo Mask. Crazy, I know, is going to go crazy for these masks. But you bring up a good point in that when you look at the track selection and what is available for these items to get, I mean, other than DK Pass and DK Summit, these are all 2022 tracks. And paywalled assumed tracks coming out this year. Especially if you think about, there being 2 Bowser's Castles that came out last tour, 2 brand new tracks coming out this tour. So that's, a total of 12 brand new tracks where coverage might be difficult, and all these new items are getting that.
Yeah, and so that's really, when I say this strong start or weaker start, that is like relative to each other. All of the new items have a strong start based on the quality of their starting tracks. None of them is stuffed with old tracks or a lot of RTs or cities or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the items, all of the items have a chance at least from their start to be good. I forgot to mention the overlap for the boom mask. So it has 4 overlaps with Black Starchute, Mario's Hat Balloon, and the Lava Rocks, and 3 overlaps with the Wicked Topaz, Rock Buckle Balloon, Origami Glider, and Flyberry Book. So that's there's some decent gliders in there as well. But yeah, it's as always, just check your own coverage.
Awesome, great point there. Let's get into anything new with these pipes, which there are not. So all the permanent items you can see listed here. Nothing new added to that mix. Going into week 2, this is where we discuss these boom masks, but we have a lot of other less enticing items. For me, this is a hard pass, and I think that you have a couple good pipes in this tour. This is not one of them. This is an easy pass unless you are part of the Mushroom Legacy, and you really like to be able to level up your favorite Yukata drivers. But what are your thoughts on this week 2 pipe?
I mean, yeah, it makes me wonder if that boom mask isn't going to be like really, really amazing just because of how low the quality in this pipe is. The item's not really interesting. I mean, Sakura Quickshaw is a decent cart, not great. I think we have it at number 36. And the Yukata ribbon is like an okay glider. I think we have it down at 51 or something like that. I don't know. Driver's not interesting. We've got so many other interesting things to pull for this tour. I would say unless you're the whaliest of the whales, or there is a specific item that you really have to have, skip this pipe.
I will say, for what it's worth, it was about this time last year when we had the Silver King experience, where you had this brand new cart in the week 2 pipe, and it just happened to have massive value. There's obviously no new cart in here, but we have a new glider, and then we know that the pipes are going away. So makes you wonder if they kind of sneak this one in there as some type of meta crusher glider, as just to kind of switch things up before they get rid of going deep for things in pipes again. For what it's worth, we'll see what happens. It's just speculation at this point, but yeah, I hope those who love Boo get it pretty quickly, because I'd hate for you to go deep into this pipe for just that item. That's I'm actually really excited about that part going away. But let's talk about these special pipes, because we have some really, really good items in these pipes. I think it's mixed as to which ones you might be wanting to go into based on your account. But we have this Team Mario pipe with all 3 top skills, and then we also have this Team Luigi pipe with all top skilled drivers as well. So really, between these 2 pipes, it's going to depend on your inventory and where you stack up. I would say that the carts and gliders are okay. I think that the Team Mario pipe, you gotta like those gliders. The Team Luigi pipe, some of these gliders are good as well. But I think the big piece that sticks out to me is seeing PD Piranha in a special pipe. That sticks out. I think anyone who missed out on him might be really enticed to be able to pull on this pipe to get him. And getting swimsuit or Lakitu Party Time. Those are fair consolation prizes, but it does not look like it includes spotlights. So when you're seeing that star for maybe the last time, I really hope you get what you want, because you might be going in and may not even get that PD Piranha if that's what you're going for. So just obviously keep that in mind and temper your expectations. But Ed, what are your thoughts on either one of these 250 pipes?
Yeah, they're nice, like both 12%, so probably going to be like 2 drivers, 2 carts, 2 gliders. Decent quality. Party Time Pauline is having a good year. She's becoming less of a meme. She's had 3 incredibly good buffs this year, and then her one this tour is the best of them all. So she's actually, she was always kind of a joke as a Coinbox driver. I don't think that's the case anymore, so actually a decent one to pull. Nabbit is still a decent Lucky 7 driver, and you got Shy Guy Ninja, who is one of the better ACR boomerang drivers in the game. The carts, I think, are pretty mediocre in that one. I honestly, we don't need to talk about them because they're not very good. The gliders, all decent. I would say the Nabbit oil paper is actually probably the best of the three. It's for me, they're the most underrated glider in the game. People kind of forget about it, but it has absolutely amazing coverage. I think it's up to 23 or 24 non-city tracks. It's got blooper, which for me is probably the best glider skill. Not that it matters that much. And it's got a couple of like really good buffs recently. It's buffed again this tour, I think. However, I have to give the edge to the Team Luigi pipe simply for the fact that they're offering the full PD Piranha set only like a few tours after he first came out. Still where he's kind of in the peak or even before his peak of like having a period of kind of ranked dominance. I didn't get PD Piranha on either account. I skipped that pipe on both accounts. So I'm definitely going to pull this pipe on my main with the rubies I have left over from not having to go deep for Knight Luigi. And I'm even thinking about doing it on my free-to-play account because I don't have not saved up to 450 rubies after last tour, but I do have enough to clear this pipe at least once. And I don't have any of the evidence except for Wonderful Wings, which I wouldn't mind having a dupe of anyways. Partizan Lakitu is a Lucky 7 driver. He's okay. He's not one of the best ones. He's not Charging Chuck or Nabbit or King Boo, Misud, whatever. But he's had a couple of buffs this year. I think he's top shelf on Daisy Cruiser T, which is a non-coin box track. He's okay. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting him. I don't have him on a free-to-play account. Rosalina Swimwear, kind of same story. She's a coin boxer, older coin boxer, but heavy. This might be a fun pipe to pull for dupes if you have her level 6 or 7 and want to get her like all your coin boxers leveled up. The Karts, aside from the PD Kart, the other two, they're not so interesting, so that's probably the weakest part of the pipe. And then the gliders are all like Wonderful Wings, second best glider in the game right now. Amazing if you don't have it or if you just want to get dupes. The PD glider is also very good, and then the weakest one is the Polka Dot Manta glider, but it's still like a decent-ish like it's not a bad one to get if you don't have it. So I really like this pipe, especially with 12%. A lot of times 12% pipes are kind of bait and they're giving you quantity over quality, but I think this is a pipe that really has both. Look, you could get unlucky, but I think, if you play the odds, you play the probabilities, this is a pipe where you're willing to take a little bit of a gamble, even though there's no spotlights.
Yeah, so with all that being said, are you going to be pulling on Team Mario or Team Luigi?
I'll pull probably Team Luigi on both accounts, and we'll see, how my luck is and how much I'm going to pull.
All right, I'm with you. I may, depends on how many coins. I have like 30,000 coins right now, which is really, really good for me because having those coins has been really tough with this new strategy that I have. So we'll see how I'm doing next Wednesday and see if I need to pull for some more coins before the pipe goes away, because I want to make sure that I'll have maybe 20,000 coins or so going into the last 5 days of the tour. So that's kind of
now, correct me if I'm wrong, but during the rally tours, these special pipes stay all the way to the end of tour, or is that? I think that they do that during rally tours. They don't go away on the Friday afterwards. So you might be able to check carefully when it comes out on Sunday how many days left, but you might be able to wait until the preview comes out to pull the special pipes if you're wondering what's coming next.
That'd be phenomenal. Let us know in the comments if that is the case. You can find out there. As for the packs, and I'll kind of talk a little bit about what my strategy has looked like here recently, but I was pretty binary when it came to putting a stud or a dud on these packs. Obviously, there's a lot of packs, and so I try to think of some, and there wasn't a lot of room, first of all, to try to be too comical per se, but just across the board, kind of put a stud or dud. Now, old Studfit would have probably bought all these packs, or at least the majority of them. So for me, it's actually a relief to see so many packs that I'm not getting, and just knowing that my strategy is a little different. So for those who might have missed the last couple of tours, I'm stepping back from just the pure whaling of getting many packs, and I've got to hit a point where in my game where I've got a lot of things at level 8. I can start to slow down. I don't need to get Dr. Mario and Builder Mario at level 6 or something. I just don't need that anymore. So for me, I'm kind of I've been enjoying watching someone like Sammy D put his spa days and put his tickets into things, or Frenzy Fans guy going for top 10 or trying to go for a top badge and being able to a dolphin size account be able to throw all his tickets. And so there's kind of that thought process of maybe I don't have to buy my way in, maybe I can save and enjoy the game in a different way. So for me, I'm actually really excited about having to make some strategy decisions versus just kind of bulldozing my way into having good loadouts. So for me, at this point in time, I'm only planning on getting one pack. But if I need to, I might get another pack. I haven't really fully, just because this is a very unique time in the game with this 3rd anniversary coming up. We have pipes potentially going away, and really, I think the biggest change of how I'm addressing the game is that instead of putting coins to be able to buy all these tier shop items, so instead of buying like this queen bee or this blooper wingtip, instead of buying these items and then buying all of the high-end driver cart and glider that cost much more in the tier shop, I'm just foregoing all of that, and I'm still able to have enough coins to be able to buy things in my regular daily select shop. So because if you think about it, like that's really where my coins that were coming from the rubies for dupes were going towards. So for me, that's a luxury. That's what I'm stepping back on. But I'm never passing up, ever passing up on a driver cart glider regular ticket in my daily selects. I will find coins to make sure I get those tickets, because tickets are the most important resource in this game, in my opinion, hands down. So for me, I'm never passing up on a ticket like that. But ultimately, it's looking at foregoing the tier shop. So I've been able to do that pretty well the last couple tours. So I'm going to keep it going. I did get this Kart R, and going with the builder toad. My Kart R I think was at like level 5 and something, and now it's level 6. So for me, like that's where I got my 90 rubies. I was able to get both me's and do 10 pulls. I'm out of rubies now, but thankfully in that second 10 pull, I was able to get what I wanted with the brand new driver. So we'll wait and see how the rest of the week goes. I will say, being part of this celebration, giving us extra coins, extra rubies, all kinds of good stuff just from logging in. I'm less worried about the coins this tour. So if I can get through and only getting one pack and getting these 90 ruby packs, that's the way I'd go. But stepping away from that, I say the stud pack of all stud packs would be this gold King Bob-omb. Obviously, any type of coin box driver is going to be phenomenal in a pack, and to have it in a 45 ruby pack. I mean, anytime you have a driver in a 45 ruby pack, it's good value because the drivers are held to a higher standard in this game. But to have a coin boxer, that's the no-brainer stud. I try to make it even. I try to make him 3 duds or 3 studs, and try to even things out a little bit. But so if I had to give out 2 more studs, it would be to these awesome carts that we've seen in packs over and over again. If you don't have these at level 6, 7, 8, I'd highly recommend these packs just to be able to get them up, because they're, especially this yellow off-roader. This yellow off-roader is the Kart of 2022. There's no doubt about that. If you don't want to give it for 2021 too, because it has been bonkers. And this tour, the rich get richer. So, Anselov, anything you disagree with that? I will say I did get one of each of the commemorative items just for fun. And the Primo Challenge and the Tier Shop, you're going to have to make those decisions yourself. I don't like giving studs and duds to those necessarily. I think most of those are pretty self-explanatory. But what do you think at least about the packs?
So the commemorative items, I would say, like you're getting 2 items. You're getting a new high-end glider, and you're getting an old super cart, but they're paywalled super carts. You don't have them unless you paid money for them before. Just on their own, they're not necessarily good items, but each one of them is in ranked once this tour. So if you have a hard time covering that one ranked, the Luigi, the green standard 8 is in Luigi Raceway T. So you could buy it and use super tickets to level it up to give you coverage there. But other than that, it has the Luigi, the green standard 8 has no newer, all older tracks, so not really any valuable. The red standard 8 has Ghost Valley 2T, so that's in week 2 ranked. It also has Piranha Plant Slide R, which could be a difficult track to cover. So maybe like slightly more interesting, but the rest of its tracks are all older. I'll really only focus on the high-end gliders if those are interesting for you or not, because they are more expensive than a normal commemorative pack. Other than that, no, I pretty much agree with you. I'm not like as high on the Cactar and Yellow Off-Roader because I think the driver in that pack is kind of worthless. So to me, it's kind of comparable to the B-Mark 2 pack, like a good item in a 90 Ruby pack. I don't really give the drivers there a lot of, they're not valuable to me. So I think the best pack is definitely the Gold King Bob-omb pack. For 45 Ruby pack, you get a heavy coin box driver who's got great coverage, and he's also in ranked in this tour on Ghost Valley 2T. And unless you have the Blockhead me suit at a high level with huge base points, he's probably going to be your best option as well. So that's what I'd say. The tier shop looks pretty crap, and the premium challenges, Black Cat Cruiser, I had to look up what it was because at some point it was kind of high on our rankings.
Yeah,
it's number 99. It's fallen off. It's not good anymore.
That's not good. And then these commemorative items, although they're not given the stud or dud, I think overall, you're gonna have to pick. You're gonna have to decide what you're gonna do with your account. I think this both of them are. I think having gliders and having them commemorative items haven't necessarily been as strong as other items traditionally. However, having a red shell glider, I really like the Mario, and then hearing your coverage, I think the Mario hat is kind of cool. So unfortunately, it's a little bit more than a normal commemorative pipe. And these standards haven't come back in quite some time. So if you do like collecting and you don't want to spend too much, these might be some easy collector items to grab. And then let's talk also about the fact that what kind of unique tour we have, because we here in this Versus tour, we have tokens, we have some news, we have some things going on for this celebration. We're already looking at the 3-year anniversary. But we are in this Wario versus Luigi tour. We have these tokens. We have better login bonuses. Those login bonuses will go for the 2 weeks. So it's not, you get all these login bonuses for this tour and next tour. It's just over the course of the 2 tours. We have the question mark. We don't know what will come of this anniversary tour. Definitely some heavy speculation about this gold Mario. But we also have, looks like, some decent items in the token shop. I think the biggest thing here is the additional pipes. So we're looking at 3 gold pipes next tour versus just the 1 this tour, and then some more challenges, more bonuses. So overall, it's more free stuff. We like that. But I think one of the topics that's on everyone's mind is this battle mode coming up pretty close to that anniversary, if not right afterwards. But it's going to be interesting to see how the game changes in this fourth year of the game, right? So this is crazy. We're coming up on 4 years in this game, or celebrating 3 years, going into it year number 4. How insane is that? And then there's 2 other things I wanted to mention when it came to some data mining and some news. But there is an important message from our Mario Kart core team that was data mined, and along with these eggs. So my guess, it sounds like these eggs are kind of similar to the pumpkins or other things on the track. And most likely, my assumption is we're not going to see it until next spring. But, it's a new thing that they've added to the game for future enjoyment. I wouldn't get too hyped up about it. But anything you want to add about the celebration of the anniversary?
No, not really. I'm actually, honestly, it's nice having all these rewards and extra free pipes and extra cold pipes and the login bonuses and stuff, similar to what we had in the last kind of 2 tour or 3 tour celebration, whatever. No, I'm really looking forward to the tour after anniversary, to be honest. To the whole change in the getting rid of the ruby pipes, the whole removal of gacha. So nothing here is really, if they tease something about the tour, it'll be more interesting, I'd say. But the rewards are kind of more or less, the same as what we have been getting in past celebrations.
Cool, man. Let's get into the buffs, because we have some interesting ones coming in this tour, as we discussed. A lot of buffs while you were gone last tour, and a lot of buffs this tour. So we got a lot to get into. We're going to start with drivers. White Tanuki Mario got the biggest buffing of all drivers. He got some pretty paywalled tracks when you think about Daisy Cruiser and Daisy Cruiser T, both pretty decent for Giant Banana, and then you got these 2 DK Summits Both of these not so great for Giant Banana. So I consider these two massive wins for Daisy Cruiser T. Now I know Antelev's been pretty strong about discussing how if you have a 200 action track, having Giant Banana actions instead of coin actions is going to give you a higher total points when it's all said and done, because the points per action for a Giant Banana or for a banana accuracy is higher than a coin. But it's also, it's such a wide track. I consider this not necessarily great buffs for him. We already have some other plus skills when you think about, like, I think this is a phenomenal track for both Boomerang and Lucky 7 comparatively. Yes. Whereas Daisy Cruiser T, these are awesome buffs for him. And I'm trying to think of a better track for Giant Banana than these Daisy Cruiser T.
Maybe like Neo Bowser Cities. I don't know, but I mean, these are nice and narrow. They're perfect for Giant Banana.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Even with a coin box, these tracks are for like Daisy Cruiser, coin box. This is tough to get to 200 actions. And definitely. Daisy Cruiser T with I'm using Lucky 2 Party Time, and it's a little bit easier to get to those 200 actions, and it's actually not bad for a Lucky 7. But if you're thinking about using a coin box driver like Daisy, and the ones we'll discuss here in a second, or using Giant Banana is such a fun usage on this Daisy Cruiser. But that's the drivers with 4 buffs. We just obviously have one driver with 3 buffs, which I think is really unique. Is the fact that it's a Mii. Usually we don't see Mii's get 3 buffs. We see them kind of struggling to get coverage, but they threw 3 buffs for this Ice Cream Mii suit, which makes sense because they're all ice related. So we have DK Pass T, and DK Summit T. So the DK Pass and DK Pass T, I mean, this is not plus skill. These are already tracks where you have a lot of better items. So I wouldn't necessarily say this is phenomenal for the ice cream, but because it's not a top skill, it doesn't really matter anyway. Analev, you want to say anything about these 2 drivers?
No, I'm just looked at my notes for what I wrote down about White Tanuki Mario buffs. I like the DC, not so much the DKS, as it's too wide for effective Giant Banana. So I agree exactly with what you say there. And DK Summit Normal just got Blockhead, and DK Summit R just got Gold Yoshi. So there's a coin box option on those 2 tracks before where there wasn't. So not so big a fan of those, but the Daisy Cruiser buffs are great for him.
There you go. Let's get into drivers with 2 buffs. As you just alluded to, this question block Mii Racing Suit, number 3 on our list, gets these 2 great buffs. Got Ghost Valley 2T. Now, again, you don't necessarily like having a T track for a coin box driver, but this is phenomenal buff for him. It's certainly going to be an awesome option, as you're most likely going to be, if you have him at a high level, he's going to be your best option for ranked as you go into next week. And then you have, as you alluded to, with Yoshi Goldegg. He's got 2 really good buffs in the Luigi Raceway R and DK brand new track, and then the Wii DK Summit R. So he's number 5 on our list, getting a little bit of a resurgence as he kind of dropped from our top 10 list last tour. And we got Charging Chuck Gold already, number 11 on our list. He's getting Daisy Cruiser R, Ghost Valley 2R. I do perceive him to one day getting potentially even number 1 or number 2 on our list, but he's going up very, very fast. I think the fact that he was not a spotlight in that pipe makes him, and then obviously being coming out of a special pipe, which tends to get accelerated value compared to other items. He's going to be a top, especially being a large hitbox. He's gonna be a top driver. There's no doubt about that. So we'll see how things go. Obviously, there's some negative stigma with the fact that he wasn't a spotlight, but if you have him, you gotta level him up. I know his starting coverage was not phenomenal, but it's gonna be great like this for the next couple tours. I can promise you that. We also have Rosalina Volendam. She's got 2 new tracks with Luigi Raceway and then Maple Treeway RT. The Maple Treeway RT, it's a toss-up whether you think that one's a good one or not, but the Luigi Raceway, a phenomenal buff for her. Cat Luigi, Dr. Peach, Peach Yukata, Dr. Luigi, Luigi Golf, Dr. Mario, Toadette Sailor, Builder Luigi, and Builder Mario, all getting these 2 buffs. I don't even need to talk about them though, because they're not top skills. Anselm, what are your thoughts on some of these top 4 drivers that I just discussed?
Yeah, that's the sad thing. Just non-top skill drivers, it's just not that important. I will say Cat Luigi is our highest rated non-plus skill driver in the rankings right now at number 19. He's got good quality tracks. No, I think the big winner here is Yoshi. He got two tracks, two buffs. One of them isn't ranked. They're both Coinbox exclusive. That's bringing him up to 7 exclusive tracks where he's the only Coinbox driver. Not only that, Luigi Raceway R doesn't have a single other plus skill driver on the top shelf. So if you don't have him, you are. I'm looking at my inventory right now. My main account, I have him level 1, and I've managed to survive this far, not upgrading him. And I'm looking at ranked next week. I'm just gonna be like, really, after all this long, I really have to put tickets on him because. But I mean, if you don't have him, you're gonna have a hard time next week. I'm telling you. After that, the blockhead is just he's getting really close to overtaking Gold Me. He got two very good buffs. The first one, Ghost Valley 2T, is a new track which isn't ranked next week, and it's also a T which we rate as the most valuable type of variant just because it's in ranked the most often after RT. And then you got DK Summer, which is an exclusive for him. So it's an older track, but he's also up to 7 exclusives, 7 tracks where he's the only Coinbox driver. So those are the two big winners. Charging Chuck Gold, like, he's really racing up there. He's getting some really good quality. Daisy Cruiser R is a newest track, which also gets a bonus because it's in ranked this week, and then a new track in Ghost Valley 2R. Amstelina, she got, unfortunately, she got the version of Luigi Raceway, which is not in rank, so there's like a little bit less value for her. And she got Maple Treeway RT, which is not like an intrinsically valuable track because it's an RT, but it is a track that a lot of people have a lot of fun on trying to break records. It's definitely like a 300 action count potential with Coinbox or with Boomerang. So it's a fun one for her to have. We did have Samurai there already before as a Boomerang driver, but I think more people have Volendam there instead. That's basically what I have on the 2 buff drivers.
I like it, man. I like it. Let's talk about the rest of the drivers, the ones that got 1 buff. So we have Mario Samurai. He is number 4 on our list. He got the Ghost Valley 2, which, by the way, Ghost Valley 2 is one of the laziest tracks I've ever seen Nintendo put out. It's unfortunate that they basically just added a little gliding section, and now we have to get all this coverage for this brand new track. So I'm already like a little teed off, to be honest with you, because I'm like, guys, like, I'm already covered on these tracks, but now you basically re-released an old track, just added like 2 or 3 things, and now we have to get all brand new coverage for these 3 tracks. So I'm a little ticked off. I don't know how you feel about it, but in general, but Mario Samurai, he is getting some nice buffs when you think about him being in ranked and getting these new tracks and these paywall tracks. But he and also PD Piranha having this boombox capability here on this Ghost Valley 2. Those are your guys if potentially. Obviously, there's other options you can go with, but these guys for at least for ranked is a strong option. Peach Happy is really the other option that you have there. Everything else is basically garbage. So I don't know. You have a couple options, but that's at least what you're dealing with for ranked. Luigi Vacation gets a nice buff here with this Luigi Raceway. He's still in our top 10 at number 9. Rosalina Chef, she gets the Luigi Raceway. This is what you were referring to earlier with Gold King Bob-omb getting Ghost Valley 2T. So he's in ranked. You got to enjoy that. But it's been a while since we used them, at least for ranked, at least for me. PD Piranha Me Racing Suit gets this Ghost Valley 2R, number 22 on our list. Then as you're kind of rounding out some of these other drivers, Daisy Farmer, Nabbit Me Racing Suit, Fire Rosalina, Lakitu Party Time getting that Ghost Valley 2T, not a bad option there. Birdo White, Dr. Bowser, Party Time Pauline, which is, I think, we opened the app, this was the most glaring, phenomenal buff if you had her at a high level. I know she was kind of like similar to this gold Yoshi egg. I was like, oh, I made it without having to, say I could save some tickets of having to put it on her, and now it's tempting to be able to do that. But certainly, I'm sticking with the level 7. I'm not going to put any tickets on her, that's for sure. But then we talked about Peach Happy being on this Ghost Valley 2 as well. Dry Bones Gold having the 2R. Toadette Explorer, Cat Me Racing Suit, Daisy Sailor, Cat Mario, Captain Toad, Bowser Me Racing Suit, Chain Chomp Me Suit, Shy Guy Gold, Dry Bowser Me Racing Suit, Rosalina's Halloween. That's surprising. She's been around for quite some time. And then King Boo, Luigi Mansion, same boat. Both of these guys haven't gotten a buff in quite some time, but here they are. So what are your thoughts with the other
drivers? It's been like more than a year since either of them got a non-city buff. So it's really nice. I know we've got some big fans of both of those drivers, so it's nice to see them getting some love. Yeah,
man. Anything you want to say about Samurai or PD Piranha? Are you?
Yeah, sure. No, that's PD and Samurai both got the same track, which isn't ranked, and it's a good boombox track. I think you prefer to use boombox on this one, so like you said, it's good. Rosalina Chef, she's just having a hard time overcoming her difficult start. She got the Luigi Raceway, but unfortunately it's the one that's not in rank, so it's like a little bit less valuable. Yeah, but really the big one here is Party Time Pauline. I looked at our model and the actual 5 most valuable tracks to have from a specific driver right now. One of them, the 2 most valuable buffs right now, Pauline Party Time on Luigi Raceway T is number 1. It's worth almost 4 times what an old retro is, because it's an exclusive, and she's a heavy coin boxer, and it's a new track, and it's in rank. So all those things multiply up, and it makes it so valuable. Yoshi Gold Egg on Luigi Raceway R, it's kind of a similar thing, but he's not a heavy, so it's a little bit less. Charging Chuck Gold on RMX Bowser's Castle 1T, that was from tour before, same story. And we got the Blockhead on Koopa Cape R, and Daisy Tie Dress on Daisy Cruiser. And so what you notice from all of these is it's a new driver with a plus skill, all with Coinbox actually, all on a new track, all which has been in ranked. And that gives you an idea on why we're saying this is so valuable for her. Oh, and they're all exclusives. They're all exclusives where that's the only Coinbox driver. So that's why we're saying, this is so huge for Pauline Party Time. I have her level 5, and I'm really thinking, okay, it's time I double cap her. It's time I take her to level 6. I need to start using her. She's not she used to be a joke. Everyone said she's consensus the worst coin boxer, but I see she's somewhere in the middle now. I think she's kind of, there's a number of coin boxers which I think are definitely worse than her now.
Well, yeah, I mean, with that giant hit, with the heavy hitbox, that gives her a slight advantage when you look at her overlap with these other drivers. So that's strong. Kind of going back to just one last thing about the Ghost Valley 2 and why this is such a good boombox track. On that middle shelf, it's got King Bob Gold and King Boo Gold and question mark block. So it's 3 coin box drivers on that middle shelf. And as we've discussed, kind of similar back to the discussion about Giant Banana on long tracks, what boomerang and boomboxing is most important is actually on short tracks, because you want to get your boombox and then maybe a coin and then finish the track. So because short tracks, that action count is so much higher for a boomerang driver than it would be for a coinbox driver for another top skill. Even Lucky 7, if you think about using Peach Happy, you're probably going to be getting your Lucky 7 and then maybe a coin. It's not going to come close to getting that boombox and coin. So
well, and another good point about the new Ghost Valley 2 is there are a lot of coins on the track. And there are a lot of coins on the track that are not easy to pick up just driving. Like they're in those weird rotating rings where you can only there's like 6 or 8 of them, but you can only pick up like 2 when you drive by. If you get a single boomerang, even if there's no coin box in front of you, you still pick up like an extra 6-12 actions if they're too close to each other. I mean, it's a really good track for boombox.
Couldn't agree more. Let's talk about Karts. There is one cart with 3 buffs. That is the Ice Cream Mini Bus. It got the DK Pass Daisy Cruiser and Daisy Cruiser T. We got a lot of carts with 2 buffs. Obviously, we discussed at length this yellow off-roader. Absolutely crushed it this tour. Crushed it this year. It is absolutely, in my opinion, the cart of the year. It got the Luigi Raceway R and Luigi Raceway T. The rich get richer. It is number 3 on our list. It only has 2 cities and 27 assumed tracks, most of which are paywall. It is crazy. This cart is absolutely bonkers. If you need to level it up, I mean, to be honest with you, what are you waiting for? It's been crazy, ridiculously good for so long. You got the capsule carts, Lightning Streamliner. So Lightning Streamliner, it's kind of this new meta cart. It started with some awesome tracks to start with, like, you know, jumping off the screen, good tracks. And it continues to get good buffs, continues to get great assumed tracks. It gets the Bowser's Castle RT and the Ghost Valley 2, both phenomenal buffs for the Lightning Streamliner. And then the White Bruiser, finally getting some decent highlighting here between Luigi Raceway T and the DK17. The DK17 you probably were pretty well established, but this Luigi Raceway T, a phenomenal buff for it. It is now number 15. It broke the top 20, which is great for a cart who doesn't have a huge hitbox. And similar to this Lightning Streamliner, certainly both have really strong value that it's fighting against not having a huge hitbox. So the fact that it's this high just speaks to its value. Everything else I'm not going to necessarily discuss too much. I will say that this red off-roader gets 2 buffs, the Bowser's Castle RT and then the Ghost Valley 2. You're glad you're not getting the same buffs as the yellow off-roader because that's what's been memeable about it thus far. I don't really feel like talking about the rest. I wouldn't say any of these other carts below are really that strong. It is interesting to see this gold bullet blaster coming out not too long ago. Number 42 already on our list with 11 assumed tracks and 0 cities. So it's okay. Obviously, its hitbox is small, but being number 42 at this early is not bad. What are your thoughts on these carts?
Yeah, just like a couple of points before I get into like specifically details. Like there are a lot of buffs this tour and last tour. Last tour there were 260 total retro buffs. This tour there are 179. An average tour is somewhere like 50 to 100. So crazy amount of buffs, and that's due to the 2 new retros, a double in new retros. So that's why you see a lot of crazy things. The other thing is, like, a few tours back we kind of dialed up the value of new tracks and ranked tracks. So that's why you're seeing a lot of these newer items like shooting up the list. If they continue to do a better job of mixing up the ACR tracks, we might kind of dial it back a bit and see, you know, and take some of that, you know, newness bonus out of it, so we don't have these, like, you know, crazy starting positions from these new tracks, new items, and items that don't, like, you know, shoot up the list and they're like second tour or whatever. But I mean, there are more cart buffs than anything else this tour. There's 70 retro buffs. So there's obviously not time to get into all of them. The Ice Cream Minibus, good quality buffs, 2 Daisy Cruisers. DK Basan is obviously not that interesting, but the 2 Daisy Cruisers is really nice. But the clear winner here is Yellow Off-Roader. It's the only cart to get not only 2 new tracks, but that are also both in ranked. And there's a reason it went up so much. It got crazy value, and it was already one of the best carts in the game. It's just not fair. Yellow Off-Roader is too good. It's nice to see White Bruiser continuing on this, especially for a smaller cart. The capsule carts are starting to get some love. The Doctor Tour and Peach versus Bowser capsule carts, just for people who are not familiar with them, they're very much medium hitbox. They're around 73% of Off-Roader, the biggest cart in the game, exactly the same dimensions as the Bruisers, if you're familiar with them. We cut off our model for cart size at 65%, so anything that's 65% or less gets the same size rating. So 73% is almost bottom of the barrel in terms of our algorithm. So the fact that the capsule card is already at number 11 and actually the green yellow capsule is top 10, it says a lot considering this is like a relatively small size card. Lightning McQueen liner, you know, that's one I gamble on early. I don't usually do that, and I'm glad to see that I'm getting vindicated here. Two nice buffs again, and the Bowser Castle RT has a really difficult top shelf. I think Yellow Off-Roader is on it, but I don't have that, so you know, that's another thing. Yeah, other than that, you know, not a whole lot to mention. Red Off-Roader, Sweet Ride, they both got 2 buffs, one ranked track. That's nice. But yeah, I mean, there's so many things. I could spend an hour talking about the card buffs.
Well, let's wrap up the rest of these carts with 1 buff. Maybe we'll just kind of focus on the top 2 rows, because these are some really strong carts when you think about the Armored Rider being the number 1 card in the game, still getting a phenomenal buff. So the Rich Get Richer. This is why we get so hype about our top 10, is because anytime you have a top item getting more buffs, it's like the top 10 is just a general guide for people to think about what could and be really strong for their account. Now, again, every account's a little different, but anytime you have a top 10 item get more buffs, it shows that the top 10 is really indicating what things are hot. If it wasn't hot, then they wouldn't be getting buffs. Everything would be going down. It would be. We're not looking for lag measures. We're looking for lead measures. We're looking for what predictive is going to get predictive measures. We're trying to predict what's going to happen, which is nearly impossible. But I will say, the algorithm's working, man. The algorithm's working. This Armored Rider getting so strong. Obviously, the Warrior Wagon right there, not too far behind, getting the 2T. It is number 2 on our list. 22 assumed tracks for the Armored Rider, 21 assumed tracks for the Warrior Wagon. Both of those really strong. I will say Warrior Wagon has more tracks with 7 cities on top of that. But, Armored Riders only has 2 cities. So, if they both get to a total of, 35 tracks or 40 tracks one day, I think the Armored Rider will still continue to do well. Nice to know it only has those 2 cities, so it has room to grow. Cupid's Arrow, number 4 on our list. Certainly a good hitbox there. I would say this DK Pass are not the best buff, though. You have to look at your own coverage, but that's one where it was pretty well covered, not a paywalled track as an example. Magna Broom getting this Ghost Valley to our number 6 on our list. Silver King, here's another rich get richer there, getting the Ghost Valley to 26 assumed tracks, 9 cities, so it is up to 35 total tracks. Phenomenal there for the Silver King. Then we got Green Yellow Capsule Karts. It is number 8 on our list, 19 assumed tracks, 5 cities. Coral Jet Cruiser rising there, number 13 on our list, 14 assumed tracks, 1 city. Gotta like that. Piranha Pipes doing pretty strong too. 15 assumed tracks, 2 cities. You gotta like that. Only 2 cities there. Number 14 on our list, Dragonfly Flower Carts. Those are really ones I want to point out. The Cact R did get the Ghost Valley 2T, hence why it's in that pack. And then your Tiger Bruiser, number 23 on our list, 21 assumed tracks, 5 cities. Everything else.
They had to give me Tiger Bruiser on the track that they also gave Dry Gold Bones to. So I'm using a small cart with a, and I was grinding it today, and I got a coin box frenzy with like less than 20 coins, and I was just like hating my life. It was
my gosh! Not fun.
Yeah.
What would you like to say about these carts?
You basically covered. Silver King is interesting because it's gotten, it kind of spent a long time not getting any buffs, and it's just folded back into the top 10 by getting 2 really good buffs. 1 buff this tour and 1 buff last tour, and both ranked buffs, really getting some value. The PD Piranha Pipes, got a ranked buff. Armored Rider and Warrior Wagon both getting a buff. Armored Rider didn't get a ranked one. Warrior Wagon got the ranked one, so it's a better buff for that one. And other than that, I have Flower Cart on Maple Treeway RT is nice because that's a nice big hitbox if you want to go coin box and try for 300 actions there. And B Dasher and Black B Dasher both got a buff, which is like, those are ancient carts. It's just fun to see those guys. But even though Black B Dasher is rated number 170 and B Dasher is rated number 151.
Well, they were the gold pass, so they have to make that look somewhat attractive for those who maybe are new joining in from battle mode or whatever the case might be. And in fact, I'm sorry, there's so many cart buffs that we couldn't fit all the cart buffs in one page. So we do have some other items, other carts here that did get these buffs. But again, they're not very high up on the list, so I don't even really want to talk about any of these. But this is where you'll see that some of those items we were discussing here with the B Dasher and Black B Dasher.
Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention earlier, talking about the red and green stand, even though they're in the commemorative packs, they don't get the commemorative boost. Ooh. So normally commemorative items get a boost on the first cup of each, first track of each cup. The Mario hat and Luigi hat new gliders do get that boost, but those super carts do not get that, so keep that in mind when you're looking at your coverage.
Good to know. We also have pipe boost going away here shortly in just a couple tours. Keep that in mind.
It's gonna make my life easier.
Yeah, I'm sure for the algorithms and spreadsheets and stuff, I'm sure it's been a thorn in your side. So glad to see that going away, for at least for your sake. But gliders with 3 buffs, we have the Vanilla and Chocolate Balloons with Daisy Cruiser, Luigi Raceway R, and the DK Summit. Certainly the Daisy Cruiser and Luigi Raceway are strong paywalled buffs there. Then we have a decent number of gliders with 2 buffs, most notably the Wonderful Wings and Piranha Plant Balloons. These are the only top 10 gliders getting these 2 buffs. But certainly with Wonderful Wings, kind of rich get richer. This is why we do the algorithm, guys. When you have a second item in the, really the top 4 gliders have been so strong. Whichever ones you've invested in more.
Consistent, yeah.
And very consistent. If you need to invest in any of these 4, which we'll get to here in a second, I mean, you can't go wrong. You're going to be doing really well. Wonderful Wings got at least one really good buff. Again, any of these DK pass, I don't get too excited about, but the Luigi Raceway R, this is certainly a paywalled. I'm not even doing very well on that track for my loadout. And then Piranha Plant Balloons, Luigi Raceway T, that's again super paywalled. I think that's my best option at like level 3. So I don't even know what I'm going to do there. Ghost Valley 2 R, so that's, I would say actually the Piranha Plant Balloons got one of the strongest buffs of really any of these items on this page, at least in my opinion. But we have the Luigi Mustache, Flying Flappers, Luigi Parafoil, Red and Gold Umbrella, Mint and Berry Balloons, Black Star Shoot, and Lava Rocks. Both of these getting this both Bowser's Castle RT, with the Black Star Shoot getting the Ghost Valley 2 and the Ghost Valley 2R for the Lava Rocks. So I think those are 2 gliders that are they already getting some fan appeal. So just, I'm sure as you're opening up and watching this video, you're keeping your eye on those 2 items. But yeah, it'll take a little bit before they get up. I will say the Black Star Shoot seems to have, at least from the algorithm, the better start. Anything you want to add to these?
Yeah, no, I mean, basically you covered it. One thing I will say, Mint and Berry Balloons actually got the highest quality buffs, I think, of anything aside from Gold Yoshi, of any item. It's and Yellow Off-Roader maybe, because it got 2 good new tracks, and they're both in ranked. Daisy Cruiser R is in ranked week 2, and Luigi Raceway T is in ranked week 1. So that's actually a big win for the Mint and the Berry Balloons.
Very cool. To round out the gliders, we have a number that got 1 buff. Here's Candlelight Flight getting another buff. It's been a strong glider this year, really for the last couple months. So rich get richer there. Ghost Valley 2 for Candlelight Flight, certainly a strong option there. 8-bit Fireflower, again, this thing is crazy. Look at this. It's now broke 40 tracks. How crazy is that? 8-bit Fireflower, a really strong glider. Wicked Topaz, number 7 on our list, Ghost Valley 2T. It is, after a really slow start, came in strong last tour, and it is
You must be happy about that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I didn't know what Nintendo was doing for a while, and once I saw the buffs all last tour, it all started to make sense. And now it's a really strong glider. We'll see how it continues to get those buffs as we go forward. 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom, just like all these 8-bit items, doing pretty well there. Only one city, 17 assumed tracks is number 8 on our list. Green Cat Parafoil had a really good starting coverage. I think this is kind of like one of those green shell awesome coverage type of glider, similar to Dragon Wings and I think the skill always scares me a little bit, but it gets this Luigi Raceway R. It's up to 17 assumed tracks, 5 cities, but those 17 assumed tracks are pretty good tracks. So it is number 10 on our list. Nice to see it breaking that top 10, or at least a new face there. Origami Glider, number 11 on our list. It's certainly a good buff for that with this Ghost Valley 2T. We got Black Cat Parafoil, number 13 on our list, getting this Ghost Valley 2T. Habit Oil Paper Umbrella, it's been hovering in this top 15 for, months now. It gets this Ghost Valley 2. Waluigi's Mustache, getting the same track, is up to 20 assumed tracks, 4 cities. Sneaky there at number 15. And then, don't really want to point out too many. I will say the Green Sprout, still struggling there. 20 assumed tracks, and number 24 on the list. And even this Maple Treeway RT, not a great buff.
Getting an RT is not really what you want at this point.
Especially an older one there. So unfortunately, I know the Green Sprout gang, shout out to my GSGs, but this has not turned out to be a great glider this year, unfortunately. And then, of course, right next to it is the Pretzel Glider, because I know they have their own gang and getting the same garbage track. So the Pretzel Glider has 10 cities, 13 assumed tracks. Not a great glider, in my opinion. Nothing else I really want to discuss too much. This Rose Paracel, as we talked about getting this Luigi Raceway. I know you're a big fan of that glider. Happy to see that there. Yep, I'll wrap it up there. What's your thoughts on as we wrap up these gliders?
If you look at the top row plus the origami glider, they all got, well, even looking at the first actually 9 gliders on the list here that are all in the top 15, they all got a buff, which is in rank. 8 of them are Ghost Valley, either 2 or 2T, which are both in ranked, and then the Green Cap Airfoil, Luigi Raceway are. So it gives you an idea of how much in the model getting a new track, which is also in ranked, helps the value of an item. It's really big, you know, and these are pretty paywall tracks, so it's really handy to have one of these at a high level. But yeah, not really anything to talk about any one in particular. I'm really happy the Wicked Topaz is coming around. I finally pulled it last tour from the Spotlight pipe on both accounts. I didn't have it before, and I'm really looking at investing in it now. So I don't regret not having it because now I have it, and it's also finally getting the love that it deserves. Oh, and Candlelight Flight is just crazy. Like, what's going on with that glider? I mean, like 3 or 4 tours ago, I finally invested in it on my main account just because it covered like a lot of tracks I needed. I was like, I'm putting tickets on an old glider. What's the point of this? And it's still getting buffs and getting in ranked like every single. I think it has a streak of like 13 weeks in a row in ranked or something absolutely insane.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It is so good. I agree there. Let's talk about that algorithms. We certainly try to keep you guys updated as to what goes on, but we really have only made one tweak this year when it came to the actual algorithm, but a lot of different categories going into play when it comes to being in ranked, being, you know, as it's new and it's getting this coverage, it gets us some good coverage. It gets you know, kind of patted on the back when it comes to this algorithm. But based on time, we'll get right into the drivers. As suspected, Meowser and Gold Me Racing Suit, these guys have been 1A, 1B for basically since the Gold Me suit has maybe a month after it was released. So these guys have been neck and neck. I was curious to see if the Gold Me Racing Suit was going to jump back into first place now that the Bowser Tour is behind us. But Meowser is still getting that edge, and you know, we even give a little bonus to the Me suits. I will say, I personally think that the boost should be a little bit more, but I get it. I completely understand. I think we're trying to keep some of these non-Me suits items still doing pretty well because no one really likes them anyway when it comes to the look. But you already know the value. If you're using any of the Me suits, you get the value. You understand. You don't need a top 10 to let you know how powerful these Me suits are. And again, one of my strategies is to only invest in Me's. At least until the further notice. And with that being said, this question mark block moves up into our 3rd spot here and moving up 1 spot. So it is phenomenal. Some even have said that they like its tracks more than the Gold Me Racing suit. And it's hard to argue against that. I certainly see that. I get the value. Gold Me Racing suit, just based on pure volume, is, in my opinion, still the better one. But this question mark block is a solid driver. If you have to put tickets on it for ranked, go ahead and do it. It's at the top of my list of what I want to invest in because it doesn't have as much overlap with the Gold Me Racing suit, which is phenomenal for it. And then it keeps getting this exclusive coverage of no other coin box drivers on this track. So certainly an awesome driver. We'll see if it overtakes its gold brother there. We have Mario Samurai going up 2 spots to number 4. Yoshi Gold Egg returning to our top 5 at number 5, going up 8 spots. And unfortunately for these 3 guys going up, we got 3 going down. We got Daisy Tie Dress going down 3, even though she's certainly a valuable driver, and with the Daisy Cruiser and everything going through, obviously her not having a huge hitbox, you know, it's tough when they give us all these top skills and 2 coin box drivers within basically just a few tours of each other. Makes it really tough to be able to stay. So we'll see what happens. She's at number 6 right now. We'll see what happens going forward. Charging Chuck down 2 spots to number 7. He's had a really strong year. We'll see what happens going forward. And then PD Piranha down 1 spot, even though getting a nice ranked buff there. It is number 8. It's just hard to compete with these, you know, Mario Samurai getting 2 ranked buffs, getting these strong paywalled buffs. Yoshi Gold Egg getting same type of treatment. Man, it's hard unless you're getting like a double whammy. It's really hard to be able to keep up. So even with just like 1 good rank track, it's not enough to be able to stay in that top 5. It's a crazy year for plus skills. And then we have Luigi Vacation up 1 spot to number 9, and the Bronze Me Racing Suit down 2 spots, even though it has a rank. Again, it's so tough to be able to stay on this list. We have so many top skills. We have so many buffs. Having 2 sets of tracks released 2 tours in a row. It's just absolute insanity right now. We have Yoshi Kangaroo at number 11, Charging Chuck Gold at 12, Rosalina Volendam at 13, Kamek at 14, and Pink Shy Guy Ninja at 15. And so, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, okay, so obviously Yoshi jumped a lot because of his 2 like crazy good buffs. I actually think Blockhead is a better chance to become a number 1 driver than Meowser, to be honest. The 17 tracks versus Goldme's 21. Goldme is not getting in ranked anymore. He didn't get buffed this tour. 1 exclusive versus 7 exclusive coin box tracks for Question Block. And Question Block, Blockhead came out way after. Blockhead has 77 retros left to see. Goldme has only 33.
Wow. Very cool. Based on time, we're going to go into the Karts. Armored Rider, as we talked about, been really strong this year. Both the Armored Rider and Warrior Wagon went up 1 spot. So now Armored Rider 1, Warrior Wagon 2. The Yellow Off-Roader jumping back into the top 10 at number 3, up 10 spots. Cupid's Arrow up 2 spots to number 4. And unfortunately, Prop Kart goes from the number 1 kart in the game down 4 spots to number 5. Again, we have so many karts, so any of these karts on this list are phenomenal karts across the board. But we also have the Magnum Broom up 1 spot to number 6. Silver King up 5 spots to number 7. Back in this top 10, I think, where it belongs. Green Yellow Capsule Kart. We saw this one jump into our top 10 pretty abruptly last tour. But it's holding itself down, guys. It's still number 8. Certainly nothing to laugh at. Jukebox Buggy down 5 spots to number 9. Jet Cruiser 5 spots to number 10. And then rounding out the top 15, Capsule Kart at 11. Lightning Streamliner at 12. Coral Jet Cruiser at 13. Piranha Pipes at 14, and White Bruiser at 14. Anything you want to say about these karts?
Yeah, the only thing I'd say, Yellow Off-Roader is obvious with 2 amazing buffs it got. The top 3 are really close to each other. They're within 1 point out of 100. So it's like 1A, 1B, 1C. All 3 are like really tight. And then there's some space between 3 and 4. Yeah, so you can't go wrong with any of those top 3.
I agree. Let's talk about gliders. As we discussed, Candlelight Flight crushing it this year, but really, these top 4 or 5 gliders have been really, really strong this year. They flip-flop in order, but Candlelight Flight is our number 1. Wonderful Wings up 1 spot to number 2. 8-Bit Fireflower up 2 spots to number 3. Golden Wings down 2 spots to number 4. Record Setter down 1 spot to number 5. All 5 of these are phenomenal gliders. They've had a great year and certainly worth investing in. Piranha Plant Balloons up 11 spots up to number 6. That's a huge jump. We don't see that those type of jumps very often, but it's number 6 on our list, and we'll see what happens going forward. And then Wicked Topaz makes its debut in the top 10 at number 7, up 8 spots from last tour. 8-Bit 1-Up Mushroom up 8 spots to number 8. Also kind of having a very similar presence as the Wicked Topaz. We'll see as they both continue to rise. And then 8-Bit Bullet Bill falls down 2 spots to number 9. Green Cat Purple up 8 spots to number 10. And then rounding out the top 15, Origami Glider at 11, Sakura Origami Glider at 12, Black Cat Parafoil at 13, Nabbit Oil Paper Umbrella at 14, and Waluigi's Mustache at 15. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean, like the main thing I want to say here is like we designed the model to keep things like stable as possible. So it's not nice for us to see these huge jumps all the time. But we also have to keep in mind this tour and the last tour, we've basically had a year's worth of buffs on the items that we have. So I mean, we have to incorporate. I mean, the last 2 tours have absolutely changed the game in terms of the best items and what they are, because the coverage profile of the top items has changed so much. That being said, like we still have, like you said before, the top 4, the top 5, even with the Record Setter in there, they're pretty stable and they're like pretty good. Yeah, other than that, no, there's not really like a whole lot I want to say. I will say gliders 9 to 15 are all really tight. Only 1.5 point difference on a raw score between 9 and 15. So, take your pick. They're all. It's not that Waluigi's Mustache is that much worse than the 8-Bit Bullet Bill. They're all like relatively equal.
That's pretty fascinating. Cool.
Yeah.
As for the other movers and shakers, we have the drivers that went up the most. Bill Luigi, who cares? Chain Chomp, Me Racing Suit, up 38 spots. White Tanuki Mario. Now he's just outside the top 15. He is at number 16. Certainly, he got some great buffs this tour. We'll see how he goes forward. We'll see if he breaks our top 10 in the next couple tours. Some other items, as you talked about, Pauline Party Time going up 28 spots. Nice to see her break the top 50. I think probably for the first time ever. She's number 32 on our list. Yeah. And the rest I'm not going to necessarily discuss. And then for Karts, biggest jumper was that ice cream minibus. Went up 61 spots to number 40.
Yeah, crazy buffs.
Crazy buffs there. We already discussed that a little bit. Goo Goo Black at up 48 spots to 65. The Secure Quickshaw up 37 spots to number 36, so cut that lead in half. Green Blue Capsule Cart up 30 spots to number 29. That's about all I'll talk about for carts. And then for gliders, you got this Vanilla and Chocolate Balloons. Name so long doesn't even fit it there. Up 49 spots to number 35. Mitten Berry Balloons, as you were discussing earlier, cut its lead in half. It's up 41 spots to 37. Flying Flappers. This is one that I think is really interesting. It went up 32 spots to number 25. Obviously being a newer item. I actually feel out of all the commemorative items that we've had this tour, or this year, I think that one has the highest likelihood to break our top 10. It's been a while since we've had a commemorative item do that, but I feel actually pretty bullish on this Flying Flappers. And we're kind of seeing that a little bit here. Luigi Parafoil up 26 spots to 28. Luigi's Mustache. This one certainly stands out, up 18 spots to number 16. What are your thoughts on these movers and shakers?
Yeah, no, nothing really. Two things. The Flying Flappers, I know that's one that Sammy was talking about maybe taking a gamble on early. Well, here is it's up to crack the top 25 now, and it's looking really good. So here's your green light to invest in the Flying Flappers, Sammy. Other than that, on the faller side, Tropical Truck fell down a bit. That was a bit of a we've been 22 spots down to number 60, which is unfortunate because we were hoping that one would get off to a quick start. And Satellaview also fell down. He fell down 14 spots to number 42. Not that long ago, he was a top 10 driver. He's lost his exclusive. He only has one exclusive left, which is DK Pass N. Wow. But that's all I have to say about the risers and fallers.
Well, that's really important to know about Satellaview. Yeah. Very interesting there. For ranked, no unlocks for Luigi Raceway T. Only one unlock for the Ghost Valley 2, and that's the Boom Masks at level 8. For Weed Mushroom Gorge I'm not going to get into all these guys, but Charging Chuck Gold is one that stands out. That one's at level 6. We also got this Gold Yoshi Egg at level 8. So those are two coin box options. It's always important to know those. As for the carts, I know the Sakura Hop Rod at level 3 is a strong one in my book, but Warrior Wagon stands out at level, it's really hard to see, level 6. And you might have the Black Turbo Yoshi. That one's at level 8 that gets that unlock. And then for the gliders, you got the Gold Eggshell Glider. That one stands out with level 6. You might want to think about that one. Outside of that, you're probably not going to explore any of these options. For week 2, the Daisy Cruiser R, you have Daisy Sailor. Not a strong option, gets that unlock. And then you have 2 carts, the Flowery Bandwagon and Watermelon Cart. And then for the gliders, this one actually might be a realistic option. You have the Tropical Balloons at level 6. I know it's a really popular one, so want to point that one out. Nothing getting unlocked for the Luigi Raceway, just like the T in week 1. And then the SNES Ghost Valley 2T, you have the Luigi's Hat Balloon for level 6, level 8. And then for these ranked items, Luigi Knight is used 3 times, all straight across the board. So you have them level 1, level 2, you're using them 3 times. For Builder Luigi, Builder Mario, Captain Toad, Cat Luigi, Dr. Peach, Goomba Re-Racing Suit, Hammer Bro Re-Racing Suit. All these guys, I hope you're not using them 2 times, but they're there. We got the Mario Samurai, as we talked about him using 2 times at level 1 and up. You got the Gold Charging Chuck, thanks to that level 6 unlock. He's used twice. And then the Yoshi Gold Egg, as we discussed with that level 8 unlock, you can use him twice too. For Karts, kind of just highlights the shielded speedster. Nothing to unlock here. You can use him 3 times. And the Warrior Wagon, awesome option for you if you have to invest in it. Even if you take it to level 6, you're using it 3 times. Really strong there. I'm not going to go into too much. I will say the Kart B, which I'm a big fan of, you can use. It's not even one that I think I'm using, but at least for ranked. But I absolutely love it. It's being used twice. Cactar using twice as well. And then Yellow Off-Roader, guys, this is where you're using it twice, and can't speak highly enough about it. If you have to put tickets on it, go for it. Secure Hop Rod using twice as well. And then for gliders, you got the silver Luigi's mustache and the Boo Masks and Luigi's hat balloons, all used 3 times. I will say the Boo Mask and the Luigi hat balloon, thanks to that level 8 unlock, whereas the silver Luigi's mustache you're using straight up. Black Star Shoot using twice without any unlocks. Mario Hat Balloon. This is one where you might think about this commemorative item. Either one of these hat balloons might come in strong for ranked for you. And then the Origami Glider, Wonderful Wings used twice as well. That one certainly popular. At least the Wonderful Wings is going to be a popular option you're going to see across the board by other players. And then for All Cup ranking, some of these MVPs, we got Luigi's Knight, used 13 times. Goomba Me Racing Suit, probably not the option you're using for All Cup ranking, but it can be used 11 times. Pichukata, Hammer Bro, Me Racing Suit, both 9. Charging Chuck Gold. This is really interesting. You can use him 9 times. You have a lot of unlocking to do, but that's really strong. He's obviously the highest coin boxer on this list. Dry Bowser, Me Racing Suit, Mario Samurai, and a couple other options. But yeah, Samurai question mark block suit, certainly one people are going to be using a lot for All Cup ranking. And then for Karts, you have the Shielded Speed Racer 13, Gold Standard 12, Warrior Wagon 10, and a number of other ones. So I think those are really the top 4 really strong options for you. And then for gliders, Silver Luigi's Mustache 13 times. Same with the, again, these hat balloons are really strong. The Luigi you can use 13 times, Boo Masks 12, Mario hat balloons 11, and Wonderful Wings 10. This is, again, PD Piranha balloons really strong right now. It's only 9, but that's really strong for, and one of the reasons why it probably popped into our top 10. But anything you want to add to any of the MVPs there, Antilev?
No, not really. It's nice to see like Red Off-Roader, Armored Rider, Origami Glider, Candlelight Flight, Wicked Topaz, some of the Lava Rock, I know we have a lot of the same tracks as last tour, like the RMX and Bowser's Castle 3. But it's nice to see some of those items that people have been investing a lot in lately pop up, and not some really random stuff.
Awesome. Well, there you go. There's our episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Antilev, it's good to have you back, man. This was a lot of fun. Certainly an interesting tour. We have the celebration, a lot of free stuff going on. They're being very generous for us. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
It shows you the sign that we need to wrap up. But overall, I really like this tour. I like the buffs. I will say I'm not a big fan of the Ghost Valley. I think it's a lazy way out. But ultimately, we're all building in anticipation for what this 3rd anniversary is going to be. So I mean, I think we're all happy to have some of these generous items, but I'm not excited about any type of Versus tour when it comes to having these tokens that never go away. So I'm not looking forward to that. But overall, I'm excited about what we have in store. Antilev, anything you want to say to the viewers as we wrap up?
No, the only thing I'll say is like I streamed a bit my ACR on a free to play, and people liked it, so I might do it a bit in the future.
Ooh.
So look up my YouTube channel, subscribe if you want to get a notification. I'll probably do it more like on the weekends, like Saturday nights and stuff, European time. Yeah, otherwise, yeah, we'll see you guys later. It's been fun. Yeah,
first leave a like or subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, but then go ahead and go to Antilev's channel. Check him out. Join him for some live streams. Streaming is a lot of fun, no matter if you have free to play or I'm enjoying it. Sammy's enjoying it. We're all finally getting into the streaming scene. But thank you guys for joining us, and go Team Luigi! See you guys.